Hello everyone, Blugoblin here. Thank you for joining me here on my blugoblinX channel, in which I'm doing another Midtown Comics Stash episode. This is episode number 25. And in this video, I'm going to look at one particular company, and that is Zenascope Comics. And one particular series from Zenascope. I'm going to be reviewing the last 4 issues of Grimm Fairy Tales Oz miniseries. Once again, big thanks to TheMtVernonKid and to Midtown Comics for the books. Chris, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you, bro. Yeah, I had reviewed issues 1 and 2 on previous episodes of the Midtown Comics Stash. If you haven't seen those reviews, go look them up. I'm sure they're around somewhere, whether they're on this channel or on my Blugoblin 01 channel. They're in a couple of previous episodes of the Midtown Comics Stash. So if you haven't seen my reviews for issues 1 and 2, go look them up if you can. I'm going to be reviewing issues 3 through 6 and giving my honest thoughts about it. We're going to start off with Oz number 4. I gotta say, the covers that I got are pretty damn awesome. Especially this one. Now, I really like this cover. I mean, you take away all the text and shit on here on the top, and this will make a damn good poster. Dorothy and the gang and her friends are attacked by some creatures that are conjured up by the witch's what's the term they use? Assistant, or her apprentice, I believe. The Wicked Witch of the West's assistant. God, I forgot her name. Hang on. Adhesive bag. Her name's in here somewhere. Thora. I was thinking it was Thorna, but it's Thora. But they apologize for all this. But Dorothy and her friends bravely defend themselves against a horde of demons created by Thor and everything. And we get to see some pretty good moments from the Tin Woodsman. Some really good stuff from the Lion. I like the Lion in this series. Very nicely done. They're trying to put together a magical scepter that will supposedly defeat the Wicked Witch once and for all. And they find out where another piece... They find out where the second... They already got the first piece. They find out where the second piece is, and they go to retrieve it. However, it's a little bit of a setup, because once they go to retrieve it, they get attacked again. But this time by a big giant army of giant bees. And Glinda gets the second piece of the scepter, but the cliffhanger at the end of this issue, I'm going to have to go ahead and spoil it because I have 3 more books to review. At the end of this issue, Glinda is stabbed in the back by a giant bee stinger. And doesn't say it instantly kills her, but that's how the issue ends, with the big to be continued thing. This was really good. The writer, let's see, Joe Bruscia does the writing, and the penciling by Rolando Di Sessa. I apologize if I butchered those names, but the artwork in here is just fantastic. Really action-packed, pretty gruesome moments in here. But one thing, there's another reason I took this out of the bag, because I just want to show this off. The Tin Woodsman in this story, I don't know how well the camera can see it, but the Tin Woodsman in here just looks badass. I mean, this is what the Wizard of Oz should have been like when I watched it as a kid. You know, I know a lot of people love the Judy Garland movie and also the Return to Oz movie from the mid-'80s. But man, this is a Wizard of Oz story I would have loved to have seen as a kid. Put this in a theatrical movie, in the theatrical version, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, put this shit in the theaters. It was really, really good. And that leads us into issue number 4. And the long-awaited arrival of the Flying Monkeys. The Flying Monkeys are in this one. Oh, man. Yeah. The flying monkeys are in this one. What do I say about this? Glinda is dying after the bee sting she took in the back, and everybody's saying, "Oh God, we need to heal her. We need to get her some help. We need to cure her. We need to save her." And all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, Dorothy gets the incomplete scepter and just blasts Glinda, and that saves her. But it doesn't completely heal her. It stops her from dying, but she's still practically comatose from the pain and everything. And if they don't finish the healing magic, because the scepter's not complete, so the healing spell is only a temporary fix. So unless they complete the scepter and use it to heal her, she still will probably die. And so they figure out that the last piece of the scepter is in the Emerald City. And everybody's cautious about that because they say, nobody can make it to the Emerald City without the Wicked Witch knowing where you are. So they came up with the idea to split up into teams. It's like y'all go this way, we'll go this way, kind of scenario. And at the end of the issue, Dorothy is taken by the flying monkeys. Dorothy and the Scarecrow are taken by the flying monkeys. And at the cliffhanger at the end of the issue, oh man, it's not good. The cliffhanger at the end of this issue was not good. I'm going to try my best not to spoil what it was, but woo, that's not good. That is not good. But I'm not saying it's a bad issue. I'm saying the cliffhanger was, And then that leads us into issue number 5. I really like this cover too. This cover is beautiful. Very artistic, yeah. Tits and ass. Tits and ass. Tits and ass. But anyway, yeah, about that whole cliffhanger thing. The cliffhanger at the end of the last issue, I'm still going to try not to spoil it, but it implies that something happened. It didn't actually happen. But this was a really nice issue. Dorothy gets to the Emerald City. She has to see the king because the king has the last piece of the scepter. However, she's going there. She's being forced to go there because the Wicked Witch had made a bargain with Dorothy in the last issue, saying, "Hey, you do this for me. You go get that last piece of the scepter and you bring it back to me, or I kill your friends." Because in the last issue, she captured some of Dorothy's friends. And it's like, Dorothy says, "I'll do it. To save her friends, she'll do it." And so she and the witch's apprentice, Thora, they travel to the Emerald City, but at the last minute, a certain friend to Dorothy shows up to help her out. It's Toto. Toto shows up and bails Dorothy out, and they make a clean getaway, and Thora retreats. Now don't forget, Toto in this series is a wolf. And he's a big wolf. This ain't no little miniature puppy Toto. This is big white wolf Toto. This Toto's badass. But they get to the king of the Emerald City, and they explain, and Dorothy tries her best to explain what's going on, and he assembles the scepter for her. Meanwhile, at the same time, the Wicked Witch is gathering up an army and getting ready to invade the Emerald City. And then we get to the cliffhanger of this issue. Oh man, if you thought the cliffhanger for the last issue was bad, this was, woo, right up there with, oh my fucking god, kind of cliffhangers. There's a betrayal. One of Dorothy's friends, I'm going to use a wrestling term here, turns heel and betrays the team, revealing that he was with the Wicked Witch all along. And at the end of the issue, the Wicked Witch gets the scepter. And it's one of those, oh my fucking god kinds of cliffhangers mixed with a dun 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 kind of cliffhangers. I mean, it was great. Beautifully well done. Awesome storytelling, great drama, and some good action. We also learn in here that the Cowardly Lion a while back was actually training Dorothy in the art of sword fighting. So Dorothy can actually fight in this series, and I like the twist that they gave to the lion in here. And that leads us to the last issue of the series, Oz number 6. And we also learn another thing about the lion. You know, when I first started reading this series, I was under the impression that the Cowardly Lion was not a coward at all. But then we get to see a big swerve concerning the Cowardly Lion's character development. Makes me think, okay, he has every right to call himself a coward, but I'm not going to spoil what he reveals about his past. Just really, really good stuff. Like I said, there was a traitor among the group, among Dorothy's group in the last issue. I'm still not going to spoil who that was because even though I kind of saw it coming, I didn't want it to happen. It was kind of like that. And this was done so very well. And we get this big fight scene, this big elaborate fight scene. You know, the dead king's army still defending the Emerald City against the witches' horde. And the king's army hasn't got a snowball's chance in hell of winning this fight. The witches' army of beasts, monsters, flying monkeys, whatever the fuck she's got. The king's army has no chance in hell of winning this fucking battle. Not whatsoever. But then there's a nice little swerve concerning Dorothy in here with the scepter, and it's very well played. Certain someone decides to quit hiding around and actually joins in the action, but unfortunately it comes back to bite him, and it comes back to bite him hard. But Dorothy gets possession of the scepter because of this interference from this character. I'm not going to spoil who it is, but I'll give you a hint. It's one of the most memorable characters of the Oz cast, who finally steps into the action and comes in to help Dorothy. It bites him in the ass, but at the end, it was worth the ambush to get the scepter away from the witch, and Dorothy was ultimately able to kill her. But then we come to my biggest problem with this series. As soon as the witch is dead, her army flees, and it seems Oz is finally safe from the forces of evil and all that shit. The series abruptly ends. Dorothy and the gang are sitting at a table eating dinner. Dorothy excuses herself and tells Glinda she wants to go home, and Glinda's basically like, okay, poof, there you go, you're back in Kansas. And then it just goes to Dorothy saying, I hope Auntie Em didn't miss me too much, and it just says the end. That was so abrupt. The ending just came out of nowhere. No heartfelt goodbyes between Dorothy and her friends. No heartfelt goodbyes. No speeches about how they respect her. No thank yous for helping me. None of this shit. Nothing. We get nothing. Dorothy just says, I want to go home. Glinda just sends her there. And it just says the end. What the fuck? This is one of the most disappointing endings to a storyline that I've read in a long time. This is the biggest, if not the biggest flaw of this series. Such a fast and forced end. It's like, Dorothy, you killed the witch. The end. Bullshit. I hated that. Nothing. No, thank you, Cowardly Lion. Thank you, Scarecrow. I'm gonna miss you. You were so brave. You truly proved that you do indeed have courage. Dorothy, we respect you. Dorothy, we will never forget you. You will always be in our hearts. We will remember you for times to come. Nothing. We get nothing. So disappointed in the ending. But it is what it is. It was still a good read nonetheless, but that sourly cheap ending hurt it really bad. Overall, all 6 issues of Oz were really good. The story overall was damn entertaining, full of action, full of drama, good character development, some nice swerves, some nice twists, some I didn't honestly see coming, but it had one of the laziest and cheapest endings I've read in a long time. I hated the ending, but the rest of it was pretty damn awesome. And there's my review of the ending of the Grimm Fairy Tales Oz series. I want to thank y'all for watching this, my 25th Midtown Comic Stash, and there's plenty more to come. Right, Chris? Thanks for watching, everybody, and until next time, I'll see y'all later.